Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. So I'm so sorry I'm late. Just, usual chaos. Just as I'm about to start a live. But anyway, I'm glad you're hopefully you're all here, and I hope you're all well. So good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Vicky. For anybody who doesn't know, I should say these sort of things really, because I can't presume that sometimes there's people watching for the first time. And hello also to the replay crew. I should say hello to. Anyway, I'm going to light my candle now. Probably the light is nothing's working tonight. Of course, this candle is for Madeline, because that's who we're going to be talking about tonight. But a few, I want to light this candle for somebody I know who's going through a difficult time at the moment. And also for any of you out there that are going through difficult times. Life's not easy, is it? It's a journey, that's for sure. Anyway. Okay, so what we're going to talk about tonight, of course, is we're going to talk about this police interview with Stephan Sterns. And so for anybody who's maybe been on another planet, because anyone who's into true crime will know about the case of Madeline Soto. Madeline disappeared in Florida. Disappeared, supposedly was dropped off at school by her stepfather. And then when her mum went to pick her up later on that day, turns out she hadn't been at school. And then unfortunately, a couple of days later, her stepfather was arrested because on his phone were found lots of compromising photos and videos. And so he was arrested before Madeline's body was even found. And Madeline's body was found a few days later. Madeline's sadly deceased, and, Stephan was already in custody. And he wasn't charged with her murder for quite a little while, but we think, it's the police getting all their... They didn't have to rush. They had him in custody. They had him in custody on 60 very serious charges. So he wasn't going anywhere anyway. So I think the police just took their time getting all their evidence together. And now, of course, this evidence is coming out bit by bit, because we're now in the discovery phase of the trial, which means that the defence have to ask for, what the prosecution has, the evidence that they've got, so that they can prepare a defence. And what this means is that once they ask for it and it becomes public, it becomes for public consumption, except for the photos, etc., that are on Stephan's phone, they cannot be transferred at all, because it would be illegal, because it's illegal to transfer images and videos of underage children, of minors. So even within the police, they're not allowed to do that. Within these, the criminal world, the solicitors, etc., aren't allowed to do that. So if they want to look at those actual videos, the video evidence that was on Stephan's phone, they have to apply to go and visit where it is being held, on the computer it's being held on, or it cannot be transferred anywhere else. So that's sort of where we are. So bits and pieces are going to come out now leading up to the trial. There's bits and pieces of the evidence is going to come out. So first of all, I'm just going to say hello to everybody. Then we're going to have a little look at some things that have come out about Jen Soto. So Jen is Madeline's mum, Stephan Sterns' partner. You know, everyone's really angry with Jen because they feel like Jen should have known something. You know, I still don't know. Nobody knew anything. You know, Stephan Sterns, he is a manipulator. You hear in this interview how effortlessly he lies and how convincingly he lies, really, because it's just so effortless. But so, you know, but it does seem that, you know, is Jen just thick or what? I can't make my mind up if she is complicit. I don't think she's complicit. I think she's just totally thick or just turned a blind eye deliberately, you know, or was just so desperate for a partner or just so in love with Stephan, you know, turning a blind eye and not putting her children first or her child first. But, you know, you'll tell me what you think. I know a lot of people are very angry with Jen and feel like she should be arrested too, but she has not been charged with anything yet. So she, you know, we're going to hear, that's what we're going to do. Well, let me say hello first, and then we're going to look at some things that have come out about Jen. So, hi, Chumba. Sorry, you were here on time, and David and Amethyst. Sorry, I just couldn't come on at that time. Hi, Mello. He was late and now he's early. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Annie. Oh, so you're all saying hello to each other. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Maggie. Yeah, difficult listen. Very difficult listen. Hi, Little Miss Sunshine. So, yeah, I do think that Jen is pretty stupid. I mean, I think that's, you know, that is given. It's where is she complicit or is she that really that stupid? So the first thing I'm going to show you is something that leans more towards the. No, I don't think she's complicit, but she is totally stupid. Anyway, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So we're going to look at a video because it's now transpires that Jen knew that Madeline and Stephan sometimes slept together. That sometimes they all slept together, the three of them. Now, bear in mind that when Jen first met Stephan, Madeline was a little girl. So, you know, I'm just even thinking about it, you know, with my son, you know, I was in a single parent and I've had partners and they've stayed over here. One particular partner that I've had, only one actually, that actually stayed over and that while my son has been here, but we never all slept in the same bed. You know, it's just not what you do, is it? I mean, I just cannot imagine, even with a young child, you know, that you would do that. Anyway, so yeah, so is she just stupid or is she complicit? So we're going to look at this video to tell us what has been coming out about what Jen has, you know, what Jen has done first. And then we're going to listen to the Stephan Sterns interview and I'm going to react to that and we're going to comment on that.
In March, detectives provided sworn statements of their discussions with Jennifer Soto and Stephan Sterns. Jennifer Soto stated while they were together, Jennifer, Stephen, and Madeline would.
So while they were together, they would either all sleep in the same bed, or Madeline would sleep with her when Stephan was not there. So, I mean, I think, you know, mother and daughter, that's pretty common, especially when they're young. I think with kids, there's a point where they always want to sleep in your bed, isn't it? It's like and you have to force them out of your bed practically. And then suddenly it just comes to a stage where they wouldn't dream of getting in your bed. It's like, it just sort of, but that comes from them normally, doesn't it? It's just they feel that, they just don't want to, because it's like, but of course, when they're little, they do want to. So Jennifer Soto stated, this is a sworn statement. She stated that while they were together, they would either all sleep in the same bed, or Madeline would sleep with her when Stephan was not there. So that's, sleep with her, that's fair enough. Sleep with the mother. I think where it all gets a bit icky is the next bit.
Either all sleep in the same bed, or Madeline would sleep with her when Stephan was not there. When asked if it was normal that Stephan and Madeline would sleep together without her being there, and she said yes. In another,
yeah, that is worrying, isn't it? Well, I think it's worrying that they would all sleep in the same bed. Seems weird to me.
In another statement, Stephan stated,
because, hang on, let me. I just want to go back. Oh, why would it go back? Yeah. So when asked if it was normal that Stephan and Madeline would sleep together without her being there, and she said yes. The thing is, Madeline was not like 3 years old when they got together. She wasn't just a tiny little girl, but even that would seem so weird to me. But she was about 8, was she? So, already it was odd. I mean, this man, honestly, he saw Jen Soto coming. That is what I think. He must have thought all his Christmases had come at once when he met Jen Soto, and how stupid she is, and how desperate she was for a boyfriend, and how she didn't see anything strange about this. I mean, come on. It's not me having a bad mind, is it? I mean, anyone would see that this is not right. So I do think he saw Jen Soto coming.
yes. In another statement, Stephan stated, Madeline always needed human contact.
Stephan stated that Madeline always needed human contact when going to sleep. Stephan referred to it as snuggling. It just makes you feel sick, doesn't it? Sick to the stomach. I'm just, it's just horrible to think of it. Now, of course, it may be true that Madeline needed human contact, but it's up to the adult then, isn't it, to say, look, sorry, this is not appropriate. Maybe Madeline did have nightmares, or did, kids are innocent, she probably did want human contact, but she would have wanted it in an innocent way. She wouldn't have wanted the things that he had on his bloody phone. She wanted comfort, and he's used that. He's used her need, if you like, her vulnerability. It's just, honestly, it's mind-boggling. Stephan referred to it as snuggling. Well, I hope people are trying, he might get a few prisoners trying to snuggle up with him while he's in prison, Having said that, he's a great big guy, but he's a wimp, isn't he? I mean, he's like, I don't think he's as wimpy as he makes out. He can put on the tears, and he can, put on this man baby act, but he's pretty steely inside, probably. I don't know how he's coping in prison. He's probably in solitary confinement, or he'll be with other people that are like him. But I just can't imagine how he is in prison, because he doesn't come over as he comes over as this man baby type. But having said that, I think he is. I think, I noticed in the interview when I was listening to the tone of his voice, he started off all pathetic and, what have you. But then as the interview was going on, his voice hardens. He's not as bloody what's the word? He's not as soppy as he makes out he is. You know, I think he's got this really sort of steely side of him. Well, he'd have to do whatever he ended up doing to Madeline, wouldn't he? You know, he's got to have a hard side to him. Oh, snuggling with Stephan Sterns. I can't imagine anything worse. Would you like to snuggle with this man?
When going to sleep. Stephan referred to it as snuggling. In March, detectives provided sworn statements of their discussions with Jennifer Soto and Stephan Sterns. Jennifer Soto stated while they were together, Jennifer, Stephen, and Madeline would either all...
Oh, it's just repeating it now, I think. Well, listen to it one more time. So we haven't, as far as I know, I haven't seen the full interview with Jen Soto, but that may be released soon.
All sleep in the same bed, or Madeline would sleep with her when Stephan was not there. When asked if it was normal that Stephan and Madeline would sleep together without her being there, and she said yes. In another statement, Stephan stated Madeline always needed human contact when going to sleep. Stephan referred to it as snuggling. In March, detectives provided sworn statements.
Yeah, so maybe eventually we'll get the full interview with Jen, but as far as I know, the full interview is not out yet. Unlike the interview with Stephan, which is out, and that's what we're going to listen to next. Let me just make sure I think Simon just came in. Just say hello to Simon. So I just want to say hello to those of you watching at home. Not joining the chat. Not everyone joins in the chat, I know. And don't forget to press the like button, please. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Now, see, this is what I think, Mello, as well. I think Madeline would have thought it was all normal. I don't think there's been maybe that much coercion in it, because I think he groomed her very carefully. You know, he's like this, he'll have made it out like it's some sort of loving relationship, almost like she was his girlfriend, you know, and to a little girl, even a little girl. You know, it's amazing how people can be manipulated. Sometimes the people that are being abused, they don't even realize they're being abused, and they will defend their abuser. They will defend their abuser because they're sort of in love with them. I think this might have been how it was a little bit with Madeline. Not necessarily, and it might have given her a sense of power over her mother, you know, as she got older, you know, and they started clashing. Stephan mentions that in this interview about them clashing, and he's the go-to person when Madeline needs somebody to you know, after she's had an argument with her mum. Stephan says he's the go-to person. It's just unbelievable. So I think he's just so manipulative, this man. I think he's got himself in a position where he's in the middle of the two of them, in the sense, and he'd be loving it, wouldn't he? He's got the mother, he's got the daughter, and he's the voice of reason. He's the one that they go to when they're arguing with each other. You know, he's like the go-to person. And I still think, and I mean, obviously it'll all come out, I personally think Madeline may eventually have turned around to him and said, she just either said no, or maybe she's wanted, maybe she's been pregnant, or maybe she's wanted, you know, the relationship to come out, threatened to tell her mom or threatened to tell people. You know, what went wrong? Because Stephan, he was enjoying that situation. I don't think he would have ended that situation because he was having a great time, wasn't he? He was having a great time. So why would he have ended it by killing Madeline? There must have been some sort of argument, for some reason, either her not wanting him anymore or him realizing that if she's pregnant, it's all going to come out and he's going to prison. And of course, the other option is he may just have, as she's got older, because he mentions in here that she'd started her periods, etc. Maybe he just didn't find it, you know, maybe that's not what he liked. You know, so that's another possibility. But anyway, we'll see. Yeah, I wouldn't, David, I wouldn't be surprised if if he'd been with the granny, because she was quite attractive, wasn't she? She wasn't exactly a granny. You wouldn't call her a granny, would you? In the normal sense that we think of a granny. It wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. That Stuart Hazel, that was what he did. Stuart Hazel, who killed Tia Sharp. You know, he'd been out with Tia's mum. He was living with Tia's grandma, and he wanted Tia as well. You know, it's just these men you just cannot imagine what's going through their heads. Anyway, so we're going to look at the interview now. I'm going to watch the interview and I'm going to comment on it. I may swear. I'm trying not to swear. But a few little swear words might pop out, so I can't promise. I can't promise they won't.
Warren Kissimmee speaking with Stephan Sterns.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that you already spoke to the other detective, right, about everything that kind of happened today. If you can just kind of go over it with us one more time, the timeline from like when you guys woke up and took her to school and all that.
So we woke up early. The plan was that we were going to get McDonald's breakfast on the way, so we made amazingly good time.
Now, the first thing is how calm he is, isn't he? He's very calm. So he's obviously been expecting to be interviewed by the police. So, you know, he's very calm, but he's very, you know, he's very sad, and he starts off, you know, oh, poor me, poor me. You can hear that sort of self-pity in his voice. I love this picture of Maddie, and of course it's from a little video of her, isn't it, where might show that later. She looks so free and happy, and you know, being 13, it's like, oh, you know, I wonder if she did say to him something. I don't know. She does look happy, genuinely. I think she looks happy on this picture, and I'm glad she had a good day on that last day of her life, at least. But obviously it was all taken away from her. I think something happened that night. But anyway, so yeah, he starts off sort of very calm. He sat there. He thinks he's so clever. And the other thing is that I do think it was a spur of the moment thing. I doubt if it was a planned thing. But and if it was a planned thing, it was just planned so badly. So I think something happened. He's lost control in some way. For some reason, and then he's had to try and, you know, cover his tracks, and that's why he's made such a balls of it, I think.
Interrupt you, okay? Neither of us were here yesterday, so if you can be kind of like specific about like times and stuff like that, okay?
Woke up around 7:15, somewhere around there, which is an early start for us, but we had talked about getting McDonald's breakfast beforehand, so we wanted to make good time. We did make good time. We got out the door maybe 7:30ish, 7:45ish, maybe. Got over to that area. She was asleep in the car most of the time.
God, this chills me now when he says that. You know, I'd known that he said that she was asleep in the car most of the time. He said that a couple of times, didn't he, in that other interview? Yeah, she was asleep. She was dead, you prat. She was dead, not asleep. Oh. And I do feel, if you're listening to this, the police in this interview, you just feel really early on, they just by their tone with him, if they really thought he was a man concerned about his stepdaughter, I think the police would be a lot more sympathetic towards him. But I think their animosity comes over, even though they don't really show it. They're sort of short with him a bit. I think already the police, even though they didn't have all their evidence, I don't know what evidence they already had before they went into this interview. They certainly had a lot more after they took his phone off him. But you just feel there's a little bit of animosity there. Especially the woman, to me, she just sounds like she already suspects him. Well, you know, police have got instincts, haven't they?
Snoozing until we got there.
Oh, hi, Wesley, by the way.
McDonald's. we're close to McDonald's. I said, "You still want it?" Wasn't interested in the McDonald's anymore, so we continued on. And
So, okay, what 13-year-old then says, oh no, I've decided I don't want a McDonald's? I mean, we know now this is a load of rubbish anyway, but it must have sounded a load of rubbish at the time, because how are they going to say, what 13-year-olds are going to say, oh no, I've changed my mind, I don't want a McDonald's? It's just not going to happen, is it? And to be honest, even if they said they didn't want it, I'd still stop and get one if I wanted one.
she wanted to be dropped off a little down the ways from the school. She's got this phase that she's been into lately where she's very particular about what car she's seen getting out of in front of the school. She prefers her mom's car, but my cars are, I guess, kind of hoopties. I get it. It's an image thing. But that was sometime probably between 8:20 and 8:40-ish, somewhere in there. It was along the stretch of the road that on the right side that has all the communities on it. Before you get to the overpass, you could see the overpass from where it was. So it was on that side, on that stretch of road. And that's where I dropped her off. She said she was going to go wait for her friends. She was going to go find them and hang out and wait for her friends. And I asked if that was going to be okay. She said, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, so he goes into quite a lot of detail, and she's just quiet, letting him run his mouth, really, isn't she? See what he says, because, and you see that as we go along, she tries to pin him down to everything he says, because, you know, this matters. We know now that they then applied for tracing of his car and this, that, and the other. So all this that he's saying, I mean, what is going through his head, you know, because he must know that all this can be shown. You know, all this can be proven. You know, his car will be seen on CCTV and things like that. You know, and number plate recognition and things like that. So he knows that. So he's got to try and make it sound as, you know, did he take Madeline's body deliberately to the school with her lying in the back? Because he's saying, oh, she slept most of the way. Is he saying that deliberately because he's aware that his car may have been seen with her lying on the back seat or whatever, or sitting in the back seat, slumped? You know, the police have said they think she was dead. So they've obviously seen that. So was he saying this knowing that that was going to come up? Was he covering his tracks? Did he take her to the school so that later he could say, oh, he dropped her off, and if it was picked up on CCTV, they wouldn't know. Well, he would thought they wouldn't know that she was already dead. You know, he's just, you know, one of those typical, thinks he's a mastermind criminal when actually he's like, he ain't got a bloody clue.
Kids get dropped off early enough as it is. It's not totally unusual for that to happen. It's just not usually that early that I drop her off. I do school runs every once in a while for her. I said, okay, let her out. Have a good day. Love you. Thanks. Love you too.
Have a good day. Love you. Thanks. Love you too. Twonk.
And I turned around and was driving away and was watching her in my rearview mirror to make sure that she was going where she was supposed to go. And she was moving in that direction, but she was rummaging around in her backpack or something. What I assumed was probably headphones or something like that. But find out later that she forgot her phone here, so she may have been rummaging for her phone. But she was still kind of making her way towards.
And what 13-year-old leaves their phone at home? Nobody leaves their phone at home now. I mean, he said he left his phone at home. You know, it's rare, isn't it, to leave it? You know, how many times do you leave your phone at home? There's all sorts of things you might leave at home, but your phone these days, it's the first thing you think of to take with you. Make sure you've got it in your bag, you know, make sure you've got it in your pocket or whatever. You'll all know that. I bet there's not many of you that have left your phone at home, and certainly a 13-year-old would be glued to it.
Towards that direction, so it looked okay. Looked like any other day. And I just continued on.
Okay. When you said you dropped her off, like in the area, Kind of like where exactly did you drop her off?
So if you pull down the street going towards the school, you've got that whole strip of communities on the right side there. It was in that stretch of sidewalk there. We pulled in and maybe about halfway up the street or so, and she was like, "Right here's good."
Was it like in one of the apartment complexes, the church?
Not in. It was outside one of the apartment. It was just on the sidewalk on the side of the road there, just like a tuck and roll, you know.
Okay, so like if I were to be on the road, where, like, what do you remember seeing that you dropped her off at?
I remember the overpass was up ahead. The sidewalk was on the right, row of trees. There's, I think, a median in the middle. And then there was another community maybe across from that before you get to the church. So it was like before the church.
So Town Loop Boulevard's that street that connects to the school.
Yeah.
Is that the street that you?
Is this which one?
So that's Town Loop Boulevard, right?
Town
That's the
Loop,
one
yes. And where's the school located here?
School's right here.
School's right there. Okay, so the school would be on the left in this case. Here's the
So
overpass.
you guys came from.
So they're obviously showing him a map or something and they're trying to pin him down to exactly where, because they'll get that CCTV and see, you know, if he did actually drop her off. Did he not know that? I mean, you know, I just feel like he could have been cleverer with it. That's why, to me, it's it must have been a spontaneous act when he killed her. I don't think it was planned, because I do think if he would have planned it, he would have been a little bit clever about it, I would think.
We came from Town Loop, I think, which is Town Center. Yeah, so we made a right here and then pulled somewhere about.
So you came from Town Center and turned onto Town Loop.
Yeah, where's the church? Is this the church here?
There is
so,
that's the church.
Okay, so we weren't up to the church yet. So we were pulled on to here, and then we pulled maybe about halfway up here, and I dropped her off somewhere in this area here.
And she walked from there to the school?
Yeah.
It's a pretty long way.
It's maybe a block or so, but it's not out of the ordinary for her. She likes to do that sometimes. She likes the cold weather. She was wearing her hoodie. She likes the cold walks.
So you dropped her off near Lilac? Does that?
So he said it's not unusual for her. She likes to walk. Let me just go back and listen to that again.
Right here, and then pulled somewhere about.
So you came from Town Center and turned onto Town Loop.
Yeah, where's the church? Is this the church here?
There is that's the church.
Okay, so we weren't up to the church yet. So we were pulled on to here, and then we pulled maybe about halfway up here, and I dropped her off somewhere in this area here.
And she walked from there to the school?
Yeah.
It's a pretty long way.
It's maybe a block or so, but it's not out of the ordinary for her. She likes to do that sometimes. She likes the cold.
Yeah, so that woman said, oh, she walked all the way from there to the school, and he said, oh, it's not out of the ordinary for her, and blah, 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 blah. Now, I think he's chosen a place maybe where there is no CCTV. Do you think that might be why he picked that place when he went with her sort of lifeless in the car? Makes you wonder, was he trying to look as if he'd taken her to school, and then did he have a look to see where there was no CCTV as far as he could see, and then say, that's where I dropped her off, you know, deliberately? And then did he lie her down more in the car? I mean, it will all come out in the trial. You know, but do you know what gets me is that I know everybody's sort of anti-Jen and everything, but nobody realised what was going on here. This was going on for years. Nobody in her family, her dad, her grandma, her aunties, you know, or auntie, nobody realised. This man, he is a manipulator. It's not only Jen who's thick, the whole family must have been, you know, how could they not see? None of them saw that anything was going on.
Weather, she was wearing her hoodie. She likes the cold walks.
So you dropped her off near Lilac? Does that sound right?
Yeah, it wasn't at a cross street. It was just a bit of the sidewalk there.
So did you merge into the sidewalk, or did you stop in the middle of the street, or?
I just pulled over to the sidewalk there. Let her hop out.
How often do you drop her off?
This might be the 5th or 6th time I've ever done it.
Okay. And when you drop her off, where do you normally drop her off at?
The 5th or 6th time. They asked, how often do you drop her off? And he said the 5th or 6th time. That's not much, is it? Why? Why do you think that's true? Or why would it? You know, when you think of all the years Jen and him have been together, why is this only the 5th or 6th time he's dropped her off? That's quite strange, I think.
Normally down the street from the school, she requests that a lot.
Like the same area or somewhere else?
Especially if it's sometimes in the church parking lot, sometimes just wherever she tells us to let her out. As long as it's close, you know.
So it's halfway between Town Loop and Town Center and the church?
Yeah, it's just in this stretch right here. Like we got about maybe halfway up and it was there.
The McDonald's that you guys were gonna stop at, did you pull into the plaza at any point?
No, she 86 the idea before we even got there.
What do you mean by 86?
Poo-pooed the idea, didn't want it.
She 86 the idea before we even got there. It's a strange expression, isn't it? I've never heard that expression before. 86 the idea. Well, the policewoman didn't know either. He talks like a child, doesn't he? You know, a lot of the things, just something about he is just a big man child. He is. He thinks he's a child. He acts like a child. He's nearly 40 years old and he acts like he's a teenager. He's never grown up in his head.
Anymore.
Okay.
Wasn't in the mood anymore.
At any point while you were driving to the school, did you make a U-turn?
Yeah, I tried to sell her on McDonald's one more time because I was still kind of hungry, but at that point she was also just wanting to get to school.
Okay.
So
Where
turned right back around.
Where did you make that U-turn at?
Actually, the school park, not the school parking lot, the church parking lot. I pulled into that, turned around and pulled back out. Did a UE there and went back to the McDonald's. She still wasn't.
Yeah, he uses all, you know, did a UE and I was trying to sell her on that idea and she did an 86 on that. Just the way he talks is weird to me. I don't know. Maybe that's how they talk in Florida.
Wasn't having it. And that's when we came back. See, the McDonald's is on the same town loop or town center. It connects to the same road that the,
That the school's on?
Yeah, so it's like a straight shot.
So you guys came from, just so I can kind of get a good visualization, Town Center, and where did you come from, Town Center?
Town center. So where's the McDonald's? I'm so bad at reading these. I'm sorry. So we
This
came.
is all Town Center.
So we came across on Town Loop, I believe. Is that the school that was that the road that the school was on?
No, this is Town Center. So
Okay.
you said you were on Town Center, and then you made a right on Town Loop, which is the one that takes you to the school,
Yes, correct.
right?
I think you guys do.
But what I'm saying is, before Town Loop, or I'm sorry, for Town Center, what street did you take?
I'm so sorry. I'm bad with the streets around here.
How do you usually get to the school?
I just take John Young and then wait till I see the McDonald's and make a left there and then follow that around, and that goes straight into the road that the school is on. I just use the landmarks, and I don't memorize the street names.
Is that JYP?
Yeah. Yeah, so this is JYP.
And then at the McDonald's, you turn right?
And then you said you made a left at the McDonald's? So that's Jungyoung
John
Parkway. You're
Young
going north
left at
on Jungyoung.
McDonald's and then go around, and then that shoots straight into the road that she's on.
Okay. Because that's,
I believe that's the correct road.
yeah, well, that's the fastest way to get there. But you told me you came from Town Center and Town Loop.
I'm sorry, I don't know the street names.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So,
I'm doing my
No,
best.
that's okay. So now that we know that you came from Jungyoung Parkway and you made a left on Town Loop,
Mhm.
so you passed the
So,
McDonald's.
yeah, that was when she said no to McDonald's the first time.
Okay. So you guys keep on going on Town Loop.
Yeah. But at that point, we still had a lot of time to kill.
Oh, we still had a lot of time to kill. I thought that was a really, so as you say, David, this policeman is trying to, completely tie him down to the way he went, etc. He's asking him specifically, and they're asking him more than once so that they can find, so that he ties himself in knots, if you like. And then he says, oh, we still had a lot of time to kill. I bet he could have kicked himself after he said that.
That's okay. So now that we know that you came from Jungyoung Parkway and you made a left on Town Loop, so you passed the
So,
McDonald's.
yeah, that was when she said no to McDonald's the first time.
Okay. So you guys keep on going on Town Loop.
Yeah. But at that point, we still had a lot of time to kill. Very early.
So what did you guys do?
Drove towards the school, made a U-turn, came back, tried to do the McDonald's thing again. She didn't want it.
So where did you, one more
did
time,
give
where
her-
did you do the U-turn at?
It probably was right by the church because it was still way too early for school. So it was on that stretch of road. I mean, they had the meeting there and the separation, so that left turn where the church is, you could make a U-turn there.
And then after you dropped her off, what did you do?
Stayed, talked to her for a minute, made sure, is it all right that you're going early? Because it was still early.
He keeps saying about how early it was. I mean, we could think, why is it? Why were they there? Why was it so early? He's mentioned over and over again, oh, well, there was still a lot of time to kill. And it was still early, and it was still really early because they didn't go to McDonald's, remember, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he's making a point of saying that about how early it was and that. So he stayed and talked to her for a bit. I mean, the thing is, this whole interview is a lie. This whole interview is a lie, complete lie. And they know that now. So how he's going to explain, I still think this might not even come to a trial. I think he's going to plead guilty, and because how is he going to get out of this? How is he going to get out of all this when there's no, when they turn up the evidence of her being dead in the car and, this, that and the other. And when Jen sort of wakes up from her bloody, stupor and realizes that she's been totally had. Because I do think that's what's happening. I think she probably could not believe that he would have had anything to do with it. But I bet by now she does think he has, he's done it. Well, she surely can't still believe that he had nothing to do with it. But it feels like this whole interview is just one lie after another, but effortless lies from Stephan. As it goes on, he does trip over himself a bit, and he gets very concerned when they take his phone off him. But up to now, I think he's still thinking, he's still not realizing what big trouble he's in, I think, up to now. He's still thinking he's going to get away with it.
She said, yeah, it's fine. I'm going to hang out, wait for my friends to get there, which she does sometimes. So it didn't sound, outrageous or anything. That was it. Told her to have a good day. I loved her. She told me she loved me too. I turned around to leave, and I was watching her in my rearview mirror. She looked like she was walking in the right direction. She was rummaging in her bag a little bit. like I said, but still sort of just shambling in the right direction while she was doing it. So it looked normal. It looked okay.
Okay, and then what did you do after you left the area?
I left to go to the local vape shop because I needed some more vape juice. They weren't quite open yet, so I ended up going back home. Waited about an hour.
Well, you'd know if your vape shop was open or not. I mean, it's not likely to be open at, what was it, 8:30 in the morning or whatever. Maybe in America it could be open, but it's unlikely that. Is it? God, if he was in Spain, he'd be having to wait till 10 o'clock before anything opens, which still irritates me even after all these years. It's so annoying. But nothing would be open at that time, would it?
Or so, and then went back and checked the vape shop again. It was open, so I got what I needed there. Came back.
Do you remember what time you came home?
The first time was probably right around 10, close to it. And then I waited here and went back to the vape shop. Probably finished at the vape shop and came back home again a little after 11.
Yeah, so he's got to think of reasons for why, because he went back, didn't he, to the complex. He went back to the complex and they think it was to get her things to throw in the bin and what have you. But he's got to think of all these reasons why he went backwards and forwards.
Okay. You said the first time that you hung out was a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Was there when you got here at
Yes.
10? Okay.
I think so. She might have been at her blood appointment. Let me double check. I know she had a blood appointment at some point during the day.
It's okay. We don't have to ask her right now.
Sorry, everything's a blur.
So she might have been here. She might have not have been here
I
the first time.
believe she was here because she was sleeping in as much as she possibly could because she's been messed up in the work schedule. So she had to be here because she didn't want to sleep in.
Okay.
I'll double check, but yeah, I believe she was here.
And then what time?
And then he can't remember if Jen was there when he got back. I mean, this is only a day later, isn't it? Or the same day or the day after. It's not as if it's been 3 weeks have gone past and you would maybe think, oh, was she there? But you know, that literally the next day, of course you'd remember if she was there or not. He thinks everyone's
What time did you
stupid.
say you left again to the smoke shop?
Maybe after an hour or so, maybe 11 or so.
You know, the thing is, this man has manipulated so many people over the years, including his parents, starting with his parents, who've, you know, bailed him out of every shithole he's, you know, every mess he's ever got in. So it started with them and then probably other relationships and then Jen. He's so used to everyone buying his bullshit that he thought the police would as well. You know, he's up against someone a little bit different now. And he's still thinking he can talk his way out of anything because he's been doing it for years. You know, not only with Jen and his parents, but Jen's family and Maddie's father.
Okay. And then what time did you get to the smoke shop?
It's maybe 10 minutes away, so not long after that. Stopped in, got some juice.
What's the name of the smoke shop?
Eastman Broadway.
Okay.
It's just over off of John Young. It's not far from the school.
And then after the smoke shop, what did you do? Okay, for how long?
At least until maybe 12:30, 12:45-ish, something like that.
And then what'd you do after that?
I had a couple errands to run over on 192. She was talking about making a BJ shopping list. She just wanted to make sure I was back in time for us to both go pick up. So I was visiting some card shops around the area on 192. I'm kind of a nerd, so we had a new trading card game released. And I was seeing what the situation was.
Do you remember what places you visited?
Yeah, Coliseum of Comics. Stopped by a couple Targets, and I was going to go to House Rules Games down by Oak.
So he's stopped by a couple of comic shops. He's been to a couple of comic Targets, and he was going to go to some game shop. He's just a big kid. He's 39. 39, and his whole life revolves around games and comics. You know, where's his proper life?
In 192,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't make it that far. I got a flat tire on the way.
Do you remember where you got your flat tire?
It was on.
Yeah, and of course he got that flat tire, and he really did get a flat tire because he was seen, wasn't he? I believe. But anyway, again, that will come out as it comes nearer to the trial. The actual details of that day will come out more clearly. But yeah, so he got a flat tire, so that's providence, isn't it? So he was spotted.
On 192, I pulled into one of those plazas somewhere. It's been about 10 years since I switched out a tire, though, so I made a lot of rookie mistakes and ended up pinning my thumb between the frame and the jack. Yeah, I'm lucky it's not a lot worse than it could have been.
Do you remember the name of the plaza by any chance? Do you remember like what stores were in this plaza?
It was like right before you got to Oak, though, so it was one of those little strips.
Okay. And then
but I did not
that?
make it back in time because of that. I thankfully had the spare. I put that on and tried to get back in time, but caught every red light on the way. She ended up leaving to pick up Maddie without me. I was about 10 minutes late on that. So I called her and let her know what happened. I apologized profusely because I promised I'd be there with her to go pick her up. Just sat and waited. After that, she had already gone to get her, so I just sat and waited and hung out, straightened up the house a little bit. Then we got the call.
What do you mean you got the call?
Got the call from her that had not come out. We started getting worried. I started making calls to her family, be on the lookout. She might be walking to you.
I bet. So he said he just waited. He just waited, didn't he? And then he got the call, and she's like, "What call?" So I honestly do not think Jen knew that Maddie was dead, because Jen went off to school that evening to pick her up, and I don't think Jen's clever enough to be that good an actress, to be honest. You know, I think he let Jen go off to pick up Maddie. Knowing that Maddie wasn't there, and I think for Jen it was a genuine surprise that Maddie was not at school, and he must have been just waiting for that call from Jen to say that Maddie was not at school. Could you imagine him waiting for it? I can just see him doing it. And then, of course, everything kicked into gear, reporting a missing, etc.
Just when everything sort of started going downhill.
Was it?
Did you check on the map the southbound? The Greenville? I'm not sure where Greenville is. I noticed, I'm sorry, that she forgot her phone, right? Is it normal for her to not have her phone?
Unfortunately, she's severely ADHD, as am I and her mother. So it is not uncommon at all in that very.
So she has severe ADHD, he said there, severe ADHD. So it's not uncommon for her to forget her phone. I would say the opposite, because she's got ADHD. She would not forget her phone because she'd want something to do. And as soon as she got in the car and she realised she didn't have her phone, because you know what, kids are not only kids, all people really, not even just young people, everyone's on the phone all the time. You know, to while away the car journey, she'd probably be on, you know, a game or something like that, wouldn't she? And especially with having ADHD, if she always had to keep her mind occupied. Yeah, so you know, I think he's just you find he uses the ADHD and autism. Suddenly she's autistic as well. I didn't know that before, but he uses that as an excuse for everything, I think.
very usual thing for her to forget things. She'd forget her head if it wasn't screwed on. We're forgetful about, writing her about that. We'll remind her, and then it will leave our minds, and she'll say, okay, and then it will leave her mind.
And is she on medication for this stuff?
Normally, yes. She's been staying with her grandparents a lot this week while her mom was working. So she has not been getting her meds a lot.
Okay.
So she was really spaced.
Where's mom working? What changed in her hours that she needs all this sleep?
She's treated, so it's not a set schedule yet.
Okay.
It's just.
So he said she's been staying with her grandparents a lot this week, didn't he? Because of the hours that Jen's been working. And then the policewoman asked him, what's changed? I just need to listen to that again because I didn't catch it.
And is she on medication for this stuff?
Normally, yes. She's been staying with her grandparents a lot this week while her mom was working. So she has not been getting her meds a lot.
Okay.
So she was really spaced.
Where's mom working? What changed in her hours that she needs all this sleep?
She's treated, so it's not a set.
So he said she'd been staying with her grandparents, so she's not been taking her medication. Surely she would take her medication with her. And then the policewoman asked, what's changed in in Jen's hours? And he said she's training, so she doesn't do so many hours.
Schedule yet.
Okay.
It's just early this day, late closing training this
So
day.
different hours. Yeah, no, that takes a toll.
So I came up here. She needed help. I split my time between the two places. I needed a visit. We all needed to be a little happier together. So.
Just tell me.
And where's the McDonald's?
So he said he'd come up to help out. It's very odd, this whole thing at as this video goes on. I know sometimes it's a bit quiet, but then it comes back again. It seems to come back into volume, but gets more and more interesting as it comes to the end of this interview, because it transpires. So not only Jen was not at Madeline's birthday party, but he wasn't there either. He didn't come there till the evening time. So it's very interesting that.
Right? Because the school's up here?
Am I messing up the streets again?
Yeah, tell me. This one's town center, but tell me.
We're just trying to figure out your direction of travel, right?
I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with that area over there, Hunters Creek.
You said you made a U-turn at the church to go see if she wanted McDonald's again, correct?
Yes.
Did you go anywhere else? Because I know you said you had time to kill.
Yeah.
Did you guys go anywhere else?
No, we didn't go anywhere else.
Is there a reason why you would be back on John Young Parkway?
When we tried to go back to McDonald's a second time, we would have made a left over there instead and just looped around again.
What do you mean?
Just made a circle.
Made a circle house. Can you show me on the map?
Yeah, he's getting it's all going wrong for Stephan now, because as they try and pin him down, did you do a U-turn there? Why did you do a U-turn? Where did, he's getting mixed up in his head. He's probably getting tired as well as the interview goes on. So he's getting mixed up in his head as to what he's told him, what he should be saying, what he shouldn't be saying. So it's interesting.
This is the
going back
McDonald's right
down
here,
to
right?
McDonald's.
That's the McDonald's right there.
Correct. So going back down and then just straight shot back down.
You would come down this way?
I can't even. I'm so sorry.
Yep. Although
Where's the McDonald's?
McDonald's is right here. This is Town Loop. So this is John Young Parkway. You guys are coming up John
this
Young.
is McDonald's.
Yep.
And the school's on this corner.
Correct. Somewhere over here. So we come back down here, there, and then we can take a straight shot back down to the school again there. They connect. Lincoln Town Center connect.
Right.
So it's
So where did you make the U-turn?
the U-turn was on the street when we were going to go back to McDonald's. So we drove down to McDonald's here.
Right. So just so I don't get confused, you're going up.
Bloody hell, McDonald's is getting some free advertising here. How many times has he mentioned McDonald's? And is it wrong? I actually want a McDonald's now. I've started fancying a McDonald's. He's mentioned McDonald's about 300 times.
Up Jungyoung Parkway, right? You're going northbound.
Originally, yes.
Right. You make a left at the McDonald's.
Here, go towards the school.
There you go again.
How far did you get before you made the U-turn? So
We got. Is this the school right here?
yep, that's town.
So we got up to here and then made a U-turn over here, past the median.
Okay. So
And back to McDonald's.
on Lincoln Town Loop.
Still time to kill. She still didn't want McDonald's, but I did give her a raspberry and cheese Danish.
So did you go through the drive-thru? Did you go
No.
inside?
Nope. Didn't go inside.
Where did you get the Danish from?
Oh, the Entenmann's that I brought from home. I gave her a couple of those.
Okay.
So she wasn't without food totally. So we just continued past it again and turned around and said, screw it, just drop you off early.
Okay, so you came back around to the McDonald's.
And then right onto the school.
Is that back on Jungyoung Parkway?
Yeah,
Or?
back on the Jungyoung Parkway. It comes down here. And then here's Town Center again.
So then you took Town Center
Yes.
the second time around?
Yes, and then made it right down to the school.
Do you
Okay.
remember what time you dropped her off?
I estimated it to be sometime between 8:20, 8:40.
Are you on your phone? Do you have Google Maps?
I do, but I wasn't mapsing it.
When you're giving her rides, does she sit in the front or the back?
She sits in the front.
Do you mind if I look at your maps real quick?
Yes.
And just to confirm, also, you said, so the second time around, you said you went up Jungyoung Parkway, you went to Town Center this time, made a right on Town Loop, and then you said you
And
dropped
it
her off
was right here in this stretch here.
around this, okay, which was before the underpass.
Correct. Before the underpass, just before the church. The church was ahead on the left. The underpass was just beyond that. The school was just on the other side of the underpass. So maybe,
Okay, on the left-hand side.
maybe a block away.
Okay. And you said that that's typical of her to walk that distance?
Yeah, she likes the morning walks when it's cool. She doesn't like being seen getting out of certain cars. Middle schooler, it's an image thing.
Oh, so she doesn't like getting out of certain cars. It's an image thing. That sometimes as well, he tries to make her sound like some spoiled brat or something, which she may have been, because I expect he let her get away with a lot of things because of what he was trying to, that's part of the grooming process, isn't it? So sort of there may be a half truth there. Kids can be a bit like that, can't they? Oh, don't drop me off at school, because they don't want to be seen saying goodbye to the mum or dad or whatever. So I think is he sort of remembering some things that have happened at some times and using them, saying them, even though that's not what happened that morning, but is he just saying the things that happened? It's possible, isn't it? But going back to McDonald's, I won't be having a McDonald's tonight. There isn't one near here anyway. But just reminds me, I like to tell you a story sometimes of students and that. And I had a Russian student, a young lad, who was coming for classes. They used to come every summer, for classes every summer. Lovely people and lovely young lad, only about 11 or 12. And one day we were talking in class and I mentioned something about McDonald's, and you know, he had never ever had a McDonald's, because I don't know if you know or not, but you know, I know McDonald's has taken over the world, but in Russia, they've only just, well, say only just, it's much more recent that there's been McDonald's in Russia, and actually they were all closed down after the invasion of Ukraine. Whether they've been reopened again or not, I'm not sure. But anyway, this was way before the war. This is about maybe 10 years ago, when this young lad, Sasha, was coming for classes. He's probably a bloody conscript in the army now. Anyway, bless him. So I said, what do you mean you've never had McDonald's? I was like, you know, it's crazy, isn't it, that you think, oh my God, you can't imagine that a child of 12 has not had a McDonald's. You know, and it was just so. Anyway, the next time he came for class, he said to me that he'd said to his mum, and his mum and dad, when he got home, and he said, oh, Vicky couldn't believe it that I hadn't ever had a McDonald's. So they took him to the McDonald's here in Spain, and he had his very first McDonald's, and he absolutely loved it. It's funny, isn't it? Because I don't even like McDonald's, really. I like fillet fish. That's about it, really. I like, what else do I like? Yeah, maybe the McMuffins and things like that. But I'm not a lover of McDonald's. If I was going to have a burger, I would have a Burger King. I prefer a Burger King burger. But yeah, so thanks to me, he got his very first ever McDonald's. Because I'll tell you something else about Russian people, believe it or not, like they're really health conscious, you know, so they think that McDonald's, it's like the evil of America almost, you know, it's like bad for you, which of course it is bad for you, as Jumba said, you know, so it was interesting. But anyway, so he did get his first ever McDonald's, bless him, Sasha. Hope he's okay. I think about him a lot. I don't know, you know, he'd be of an age now. He's probably in his 20s now. He may have been called up to the war. I don't know.
And she will sometimes like to hang out and wait for her friends. She's known to do that.
Do you mind if I just take a picture of your history?
Yeah, that's fine.
And that time would have been, you said, around
8:20-ish, 8:30, sometime between 8:20 and 8:30.
What time does she go into class?
She has to be there no later than 9:15. Doors open at 8. I
Okay.
mean, doors open at 9, I think. And then school officially starts.
So, you know, that in itself is strange, isn't it? The doors open at 9. So why was he dropping her off at between 8:20 and 8:40? You know, that straight away is odd, isn't it? Wonder why he did leave so early. Maybe he just had to get her out of the house. Or why did it, you know, because he's strayed from the norm there. And if he's trying to build a story that fits in with what the norm would be, if the doors don't open till 9, why is he dropping her off at school at 8:20? You know, or between 8:20 and 8:20. Most kids, won't they? They'll just you know, you leave them till the last minute so they get their last bit of sleep, you know. It's unusual to drop them off half an hour early, isn't it? Though, of course, he said they were going to get McDonald's, didn't he? But, of course, that was a lie.
Starts around 9:20 or 9:28, I think.
Okay. And when you dropped her off, is that earlier than typical, later than typical, around the same time?
Earlier than typical.
Really?
We had made really good time that morning, and with the subtraction of McDonald's, we had more time than usual.
Okay.
And she said it was okay. She was very confident and convincing that it would be fine.
And you saw what direction she walked to after you dropped her off?
Yeah, it looked like she was moving towards the direction of the school like she was supposed to.
Was she still on the right side of the road, or did she
She
cross
was
over?
when I left her. Yeah, she was still on the right side.
What kind of phone is this?
S23.
I don't know how to work this thing.
I barely know how to work it myself.
I'm an iPhone person.
No,
Is it okay if I go in your settings real quick? I just want to see if you're logged on to your Google.
I am not logged on to my Google with that, actually.
Is it okay if I check?
Yeah.
Does she have any other devices besides that phone? Any other electronics?
She had her school laptop with her.
Is that still supposed to be with her?
Still,
I think listening to this, it is making more sense to me now why he went there, came back, went out again. He's trying to make it look, we thought if he put her slumped in the front seat, saying that she slept most of the way, he's thinking he can make it look like he took her, in his criminal mastermind head. He's thinking, yeah, put her in the car, take her to school. So if you get, hoping probably that he would get caught on CCTV, except for the actual drop-off point. That's why he said he's looked for a place with no cameras, said that's where he's dropped her off. Then he's obviously, maybe he put her in the boot then or something, or laid her down or whatever, I don't know. Or was she seen still? I doubt very much if she was still seen in the car when he drove back. He's done all that driving around to make it look like he did take her to school, so he could say that. So that's making a lot more sense to me now.
supposed to be with her, yes.
Okay. And what kind of book bag does she carry?
Black book bag with like grayish blue hibiscus flowers on it, like a print.
That to me as well was strange because he described a bag with the hibiscus flowers on it. I mean, who would, what man? I don't even think I would describe a bag like that. With the detail, I'd ask anyone, and even the women out there, and especially the men, would you even notice? Would you, if somebody asked you what was on your child's bag, you'd forget, wouldn't you? Unless you just bought it. Really, how he describes it in such detail.
When she leaves in the mornings, does she?
I am not
inside.
Is it okay if I check?
Yeah.
Does she have any other devices besides that phone? Any other electronics?
She had her school laptop with her.
Is that still supposed to be with her?
Still supposed to be with her, yes.
Okay.
Is that still supposed to be with her? He said, yes, it's still supposed to be with her. They know. I think he just feel. Of course, he was seen putting the laptop in the bin.
And what kind of book bag does she carry?
Black book bag with like grayish blue hibiscus flowers on it.
So a black book bag with greyish blue hibiscus flowers on it. Come on, Stephan. Nobody describes their child's school bag like that. I don't think I would have known unless I'd just bought it. Every year you'd buy them a new bag. I would buy my son a new bag for school, but I think, after a couple of weeks, I wouldn't know what was on it unless it was a particularly special bag.
Like a print.
When she leaves in the mornings, where does she usually put her phone?
Either in her backpack or like her back pocket, kind of wherever she just thinks to put it at the time.
Hold on, I don't know how to use this. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
I don't know, you've probably been asked already, but she's never ran away or been away for longer than a certain period of time, amount of time. Like that.
No, she's very dependent on us. I don't think she'd know what to do if she did run away. She's not the type. She's a good kid.
So she's not the type to run away. She's too dependent on us. Well, he's made sure she's dependent on him. She's a good kid.
Besides the ADHD, is she diagnosed with anything else?
Yeah, she was tested a while back and had some symptoms of autism, so she's potentially on the spectrum there.
Okay.
She was officially diagnosed with it when she was younger, and then she was retested and said, well, she shows symptoms of being on the spectrum, but maybe not full-on autistic.
Symptoms of autism. Yeah. Okay. You know, that just plays into his hands, that, doesn't it? Describing any sort of, learning difficulties, the ADHD, the autism, etc., symptoms of autism all played into his hands.
Is this what you use to go places?
Yes. Go places, search addresses, look at store hours, write reviews. It's a pretty new phone. Have we had any updates?
We literally have like 50 people right now on scene looking. I don't know if there's any updates. The best person would be the other detective because he's the one that is in charge of all this.
And now he's trying to fish to see if there's any updates. He must be sat there thinking, wonder when they'll find the body, because, he's hidden. Well, he didn't really hide it very well. When you see where Madeline was left, he didn't hide her body. He wanted it to be found. He probably didn't have time, to be honest. But, so that he'd be sat there thinking, have they found the body? Have they found the body?
I don't think I've eaten anything since yesterday.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are worried.
When did you come back to help? Pardon?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, because you live down south, right? When did you come back up north to help her?
I just got here this weekend.
Do you remember what day it was?
Sunday was her birthday party, so yeah, it was the evening after her birthday party. Sunday.
Okay. Do you remember what time you got here on Sunday?
8.
He's like, I think it was Sunday, or Sunday was a birthday party. He knew exactly when he came. He was looking forward to it. He said he was looking forward to it. He was dying to see Madeline probably for his birthday treat on her birthday.
8:30ish, maybe.
Okay.
Just in time to make sure that she was doing all her nighttime routines. Waiting for her mom to get home.
So yeah, he just got there in time to make nothing to do with a birthday, or a birthday party. He was getting there to make sure she did all her nightly routines. And I think he was probably one of her nightly routines, or what he considered a nightly routine. He was coming for his birthday present, if you like. And I think he got a bit of a shock. Something happened. She wasn't happy with him.
You live in North Pole, right?
Yeah, I split my time between the two.
Is that on
places.
Snug Street?
Snug Street?
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. You have a lot of Snug Street on here.
Yeah, I split my time between the two.
Is that Broward County or?
Sarasota County, I
Sarasota,
believe,
okay.
or Charlotte County, either way. It's my parents' house. They're old. They need help these days. They got a house full of poodles.
Yeah, so now he starts to say why he's staying at his parents'. Now, according to him, it's not because him and Jen are split up. It's because he's gone to help his parents because they're getting old and they need help and they've got a house full of poodles and this, that and the other. He starts giving more information really than he needs to. But he's talking about his parents like they're an inconvenience. Everything's an inconvenience to Stephan.
It's chaos. So I needed to come back up here and just get away from that.
It's chaos. That's why I needed to come back here and get away from all that. So first of all, he's saying that he was coming back to help out. But then, of course, it turns out that, in fact, he's coming back because he can't stand it at his mum and dad's any longer. It's chaos. He wanted to come back and see what Madeline was up to. Didn't want her to have a good time on her birthday party, did he? And then, because there was some talk, wasn't there, in one of the interviews, Jen was saying that Madeline had started to like a boy at school. Stephan would not have liked that. If Madeline had confided in her mum saying, oh, she liked a boy at school, and Jen mentioned it in front of Stephan would have been seething with jealousy.
Between two deaf old people yelling at each other and poodles yapping all the time, it's enough to drive anyone up a wall. Just very happy to be back here.
Yeah, it's enough to drive anybody up the wall. I was very happy to come back here. Is that what's set him off? Has he just been so stressed out? Has he been so, and he was hoping to come back for a bit of R&R with Madeline and she turned him down. He sort of starts to feel like that, doesn't he? Maybe he was expecting, something from Madeline and she wasn't happy. She doesn't want to give it. And, something set this man off because there's no way that he would have, I think, as I say, that situation, he was enjoying that situation. So I don't see why he would have deliberately put a stop to that situation. I think something's thwarted him, made him angry enough. Because he wouldn't have wanted to kill Madeline, I don't think. He would have wanted to keep that up as long as possible.
Did you and your wife, when you guys were looking for, where did you guys look?
Me and her stayed local. It was all the rest of the family that mobilized and was beating the bushes. And
Did you guys drive together or separate?
I don't think we drove anywhere when we were looking.
You didn't drive anywhere?
Not that I recall.
Did you guys go anywhere last night? Was that media?
Maybe. I think Fox 35 or something was coming.
Yeah.
If it is, let me tell him he needs to prove it.
Okay.
I don't recall.
So he doesn't remember if they went anywhere last night looking for their daughter or his stepdaughter, and he doesn't remember if they went. What's that about? Because they didn't go anywhere. He won't have been interested in going looking for Maddie because he knew where Maddie was. Knew exactly where she was, in the woodlands where he'd put her.
You have to ask her if we went anywhere. I don't recall. I was so zonked out on Ativan at that point.
Well, you've got to ask Jen if we went anywhere because I don't remember.
I was a wreck. I don't.
And this would have been when?
He was a wreck. He was a wreck. It's not even his daughter. It's Jen. But you could see that he was pretending to be a wreck. He probably was a wreck, to be fair, because it all will have been hitting him. What he's done, that night. I expect he was a wreck. I expect he was on bloody tranquilizers or something, because everything will have happened as it happened, and then that night the realization of what he's done, it would have just been sinking in. But to say you don't remember if you look for your missing stepdaughter the night before, yeah, okay, in 3 months, if you said, oh, did you look for her that night? Possibly you might not remember, though I think you would still remember. So that's a big significant event, isn't it? It's just the most crazy thing to say. These police know by now it's him, I think.
I don't recall us going anywhere last night, but honestly, at that point my brain was mush and I was on so many tranquilizers to keep me stable. It's just.
You said Ativan?
Yeah.
Do you usually take that, or?
Yeah, I have a prescription. I haven't needed it in a long time, though. But
What's that for?
anxiety.
Okay.
I was having these rolling panic attacks and breaking down crying, and I just.
There you go.
He was having random panic attacks and breaking down crying. God, he is so like that pastor, isn't he? Like that Pastor John Paul. They're like peas in a pod, these two, aren't they? You know, they're absolutely like, you know, brothers from another mother. You know, he's having panic attacks. Oh, God, he's the man baby in that house. And he's like in the middle of the two women, or the girl and the mum. Oh God, and they're all fussing and faffing around him probably. Oh God, he's just like that pastor.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking. Here you go. And it was the only way I could get to sleep last night.
Oh, didn't. It's the only way he could get to sleep. Well, of course it was, because he just murdered Madeline that day. And it's nice to know he's got some sort of a conscience. I expect that night she was haunting him a little bit. I hope so. Bloody hope so. So yeah, that's the only way you could get to sleep, was with tablets. I bet it was all hitting him.
This afternoon. That's why I missed your calls. I'm sorry. I was took an Ativan and conked out for a few minutes.
Oh, did you hear what he said then? He said, that's why I missed your calls. I'm sorry, I was on this Ativan and I was passed out. He was terrified to answer the phone. That's what it would have been. He's like, he couldn't. So the police were phoning him and he wasn't answering when his stepdaughter's missing. You know, that's just, could you imagine? You'd be glued to the phone, wouldn't you, when your son, your daughter is missing, or stepdaughter, whatever, part of your family, your dog. You'd be glued to the phone. You wouldn't be, you know, if the police rang, you'd be answering the phone. You won't be not answering the phone. Oh, God.
It's the only time when I'm not crying.
Oh, when I'm asleep is the only time I'm not crying. Oh, didn't, Stephan, didn't.
It's okay if I just pop down real quick.
So we're trying to get just a good idea, times, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm so sorry. I'm giving my best recollections. I'm not a morning person as it is. So a lot of the times are best guess.
but we know that you go up Jongyang Parkway down. That's the road you usually take to take her, and then you make a left at that McDonald's, right, which is the town loop.
You can make a left to get there either at the McDonald's or at town center itself. They both lead to the school.
So if you leave her at, just so you get a sense of direction, Jongyang Parkway goes northbound and southbound. So you're going northbound into Orange County, making a left at the McDonald's, which is the town loop. You said when you did drop her off at that medium, you said it was around 8:20, 8:30-ish, somewhere around that time.
Somewhere in there, yeah. It was early, but not like outrageously early, you know.
So what would you estimate when you made a left at that McDonald's to be?
Oh, here goes McDonald's again. I think that's interesting what he said there. Is he said, oh yeah, 8:20. It was early, but not outrageously early. So I reckon he left as late, he left it as late as he, or, left as early as he possibly could to get the body out the house. But not outrageously. He didn't leave it outrageously late. He's sort of left as early as he can without it being too suspicious. He probably would have liked to have left at bloody 6 o'clock in the morning, but that would have looked too suspicious. So he's made it early, but not outrageously early.
After I dropped her off?
No, I'm saying when you dropped her off.
Oh, first left by that McDonald's.
Yeah, when you first go, that first left that you make at the McDonald's.
It had to have been around maybe 8, maybe quarter after 8, sometime in there.
Okay.
Sometime between 8 and a quarter after, I think.
All right. So just so it's you can kind of picture it here on the map. So you're going northbound. You make a left here around like 8:10, 8:15. Let's say 8:15, around there. When you get over here, you make a U-turn, you go back to the McDonald's. But you said that she still doesn't want the McDonald's.
Still doesn't want it. She was just going to eat the Danishes that I had given her.
So you're going up here now, still northbound on Jongyang Parkway.
Mm-hmm.
You make a left at Town Center this time.
Town Center, then make
Then
a
make a
right
right.
onto,
Mhm.
yes.
And
the
then you
school
drop
road.
her off
And
around
then
like
dropped her off around halfway up the road there.
So keep in mind, all of this is still northbound,
Okay.
right? You're still northbound on Jongyang Parkway.
Okay.
So why is your car seen going southbound at 8:10? I'll show you what location it is. McDonald's is over here.
Mm-hmm.
At 8:10, your car is seen going southbound at this intersection. So meaning going toward Kissimmee.
Mm-hmm. I had forgotten something. I had forgotten my gate clicker. I'm sorry. I forgot. I had gone back to the house real quick after we left because I forgot my gate clicker.
Oh, now he's been caught out there because they said he was. Oh, I had forgotten my game clicker, whatever that is. So sorry, I'd forgotten. I had gone back to the house quickly after we left. So why didn't they pick up Madeline's phone then? So they popped back to the house after they left. Now he's suddenly remembered, but he didn't pick up his phone, and Maddie didn't ask for her phone, but he picked up his game clicker, whatever that is. So he's just getting the lies. As it comes to the end of this interview now, you see it. It's like he started off so sort of, oh, he was like, oh, poor me, like, oh, I'm so sad, and this is so awful. As the interview goes on and he realizes he's getting caught out, you can hear the difference in his tone, because he's realizing he's not as clever as he thought he was.
I actually had to go through the front gate and use my parking pass to grab my clicker.
Oh,
so it was the wrong time. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was guesstimating these times. I'm not a morning person.
Okay.
So yes, we've gone out.
How far did you get before you came back down? When you realized you forgot your clicker?
Nearly all the way to the school. And then we turned around. We had plenty of time to kill. So.
Oh, that's about the 4th time he said that. Plenty of time to kill. Plenty of time to kill. Well, I do think he killed her the night before. I think he killed her the night before. I think he had her in the house overnight, and I think he just wanted to get her out as quickly as he could. And he left at the earliest time he thought it was feasible for him to. Because he's probably all night he's been thinking about this story in his head. How's he going to, so he needed to make that journey with her in the car, make it look as if he was dropping her off. All that, he will have worked all that out overnight, and he's left as early as he can without it being outrageously early.
It was time to go back. I rushed back, got the clicker, and that's when I came back here this way.
So you guys came back here to get your clicker.
Correct.
So when we look at the cameras in the front, it's going to show you coming back in
Correct.
here with her in the car.
Yes, with her in the passenger seat.
Okay.
Yes.
I know it sounds like we're asking you stupid questions. Okay, we just want to verify
okay.
the
I'm
times.
sorry, I'm not being more help. I'm not a morning person. I was half asleep as it was. I'm trying.
The clickers to get.
Oh, look, he's not a morning person. I'm sorry, I'm not a morning person. He just knows, and you can hear the irritation in his voice as well, because he's irritated because he's realised his fantastic story that he'd concocted is just falling to pieces. Hi, Jean.
To get where?
Into our neighborhood.
Okay, and you forgot the clicker where?
I had forgotten the clicker here.
So how did you get in?
I was able to use my parking sticker for them to scan to let me through.
Okay, so could you not have done that after you dropped her off?
I could have, but
I was just going to say that myself. So he said, oh, yeah, you could get in. So he said, oh, I went back in because I forgot my gate clicker. So how did you get in without your gate clicker? Oh, well, they just scan you. And the policeman said to him, well, couldn't you have just, why did you have to go back for your gate clicker? Couldn't you have just done that anyway after you dropped her off? He's getting tied in knots now.
I also like to come back in from the back gate a lot of the times, and I didn't know if I would be back right away. And sometimes they're busy up front, so it's better not to wait in the line.
What time is security usually there at the front gate?
They were there when I came through. He scanned my ticket.
So would it have not just made more sense to drop her off and come back since security's already there?
I don't know if it made more sense. It's just what I did.
Okay. Anything else that we haven't asked you feels important? Maybe that might help us out.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble recollecting everything.
I'm going to step away for a second.
He's having trouble recollecting everything from the day before. One day, when his stepdaughter went missing. He can't remember. He's having trouble recollecting everything. Oh dear. But he remembered about, there's lots of things that he did remember. He's having trouble recollecting the things that they're catching him out on.
Anything that you remember, maybe she might have told you?
She didn't mention anything in particular. I made a joke about her Crocs. She wears Crocs and socks.
Yeah, this was a really weird thing that he came out with, because I think he's just desperately trying to think of something else to tell him. Because they were saying, oh, is there anything else that you think we should know? He said, oh, I made a joke about her Crocs, about her wearing Crocs with socks. Now, that makes me think that maybe is true, that sometime he has made a joke about her wearing Crocs with socks. Who put, now I'm sort of thinking, now look at what she's got on there. Obviously, she's not got Crocs with socks on that picture, and that's what she was wearing on her birthday. Has he dressed her in those Crocs and socks? Why has he mentioned that? Why has he mentioned that? So it makes you wonder, has he dressed her like that? Just seems an odd thing to say when they said, is there anything else, that you want to tell us? And he said, oh, I made a joke about her wearing Crocs with socks. Let's just listen to that again.
Anything that you remember, maybe she might have told you?
She didn't mention anything in particular. I made a joke about her Crocs. She wears Crocs and socks. So we were joking about that.
Would you say she's usually like a happy,
Very,
go lucky girl?
very
Or
happy. She brings a lot of joy. She's a very good girl.
She's a very happy person. She brings a lot of joy. She's a good girl. Yeah, yeah.
Definitely doesn't feel the same around here if she's not here.
Doesn't feel the same around here if she's not here.
She was so happy too.
She was so happy too. Yes, Maggie, she was found in the Crocs and the socks, wasn't she? Yeah, that was on the missing, when they were talking about her being missing, that was what she was described as wearing. I think he stressed her in that.
She was looking forward to my visit here. She was looking forward to us all being together. She was just happy. She was just very happy.
oh, wow.
I loved her like she was my own.
And is she the only child, or does she?
I loved her as if she was my own. You know, I think he may have shot her because there's someone who's asking about if he shot. He may have done because, of course, they've done these firearm trace. They've asked for these firearm records. So that makes you wonder where does a firearm come into it?
Do you
Yeah,
have siblings?
she is the only child, yes.
Do you have any kids with anyone else, or
No.
No. So she's
no,
kind of.
is what we call me.
So you'd say you guys have a pretty good relationship.
Definitely a very strong bond.
Just
But
dating.
I'm the person she goes to when her mom gets in a fight with her and she needs someone to comfort her, and
Mhm.
I'm that person for her.
Yeah, he's the comfort person. I mean, this just blew my mind, this. Let's just listen to that again. He's the person, he's the comfort person, he's the go-to person.
Is she the only child, or does she
Yeah,
have siblings?
she is the only child, yes.
Do you have any kids with anyone else, or?
No.
No. So she's kind of.
Is what we call me.
So you'd say you guys have a pretty good relationship.
Definitely a very strong bond.
Just
But
dating.
I'm the person she goes to when her mom gets in a fight with her and she needs someone to comfort her, and
Mhm.
Yeah, very strong bond. He's the person she goes to when she has a fight with her mum and she needs comfort. God, that poor girl.
I'm that person for her.
How's her relationship with mom?
Good most of the time. Puberty not long ago, so she's getting the PMS mood swings, and when her mom gets them too, they butt heads.
Yeah, but, then he brings the periods into it. So she started her periods not long ago, so she gets PMS mood swings. And of course, her mum gets them too. And he's the voice of reason, obviously, in that house. Oh my God, this awful man.
So, as well as you can expect, but otherwise very loving. Very loving. This girl knows nothing but love here in this house. She hardly ever hears the word no.
She knows nothing but love in that house. She hardly ever hears the word no. That's probably true.
Double-edged sword that is.
How is she in school?
So-so. She's so-so in school.
Like grade-wise,
She's
or
doing a lot
behavior-wise?
better though. Apparently she just made student of the week.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So we're very proud of her. She's doing singing, choir. She's sounding just amazing. She sang for me last night. I immediately wanted to show her the movie Sister Act
Mhm.
because the choir singing was so pretty. It reminded me. Told her I was very proud of her.
I'm sure he said she sang for me last night, didn't he? Hang on. Let's go back a little bit. I think all the important bits are at the end of this, as it comes.
I'm that person for her.
How's her relationship with mom?
Good most of the time. Puberty not long ago, so she's getting the PMS mood swings, and when her mom gets them too, they butt heads. So, as well as you can expect, but otherwise, very loving. Very loving. This girl knows nothing but love here in this house. She hardly ever hears the word no. Double-edged sword that is.
How is she in school?
So-so. She's so-so in school.
Like grade-wise,
she's
or
doing a lot
behavior-wise?
better, though. Apparently, she just made Student of the Week.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so we're very proud of her. She's doing singing, choir. And she's sounding just amazing. She sang for me last night. I immediately wanted to show her the movie Sister Act because
Yeah, he definitely said that. She sang for me last night. What happened? What happened? So 1 minute she's singing for him, the next minute he's killing her, you know, one way or another. Wonder what happened.
the choir singing was so pretty. It reminded me. Told her I was very proud of her.
Does she have does she like video games, anything like that?
She
Yeah.
does like video games, yeah. She plays Roblox, Minecraft. I think those are the two big ones that I know of.
You don't know her to like ever have any friends on there that she talks to, anything
She
like that?
does. She does group chats. She does like voice chatting too on it. Usually with like her cousins or her friends, and they'll all be playing Roblox or something, you know, yelling at each other on the phone.
When's the last time you all lived together?
December.
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 And you said the reason was for your parents down there.
Yeah, going down to help them because they're getting on in age and they're making their end of life plans. And
Yeah, so he's not lived there since December, apparently. You know, so maybe he's had no access to her since December, and then he's come back for that birthday, you know, and thought everything would be like it was, and Madeline's moved on, maybe.
they need someone to help out.
Can you unlock this one more time? please?
Sure.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, are you guys done?
No, we're good.
The other detective mentioned that you did not have your phone yesterday.
Correct.
Tell me about that.
I left my phone at home in the morning too. I was so busy riding Herd over to get us out the door on time that I left my phone. She left her phone. We
Okay.
both left our phones.
Did you have your phone when you went to the smoke shop?
Not the first time after I dropped her off. I was still without it. I got my phone and went back to the smoke shop
Okay.
later when I got home.
And then I also noticed, I was checking your call history. I noticed that you don't have anything before this morning. Is that unusual?
This is, sorry, I think I might be, excuse me, yeah. This is the bump moment, you know, it's like the drop the mic moment. But she just says, you know, she's asking him about his phone. So they both left their phones. That's strange, isn't it? And then she said, but I've noticed there's nothing on your phone since before certain date. And this is his explanation.
On your phone?
No, it's a new phone. Stupid. I went to do an update yesterday morning, and I don't know what the fuck. Pardon me. I don't know what the heck I did, but somehow during the massive OS update, I managed to factory reset my phone and lose all of my contacts, all my information.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just so easy to do, isn't it? That woman, she went, like you know, they know. He's just, you know, he thinks he's so clever. Obviously, you don't ever accidentally factory reset your phone.
What time was that? Do you remember?
Oh, sometime while I was hanging out with her, I looked at her and said, "What did I just do?"
Okay.
So he was with Madeline when he did that, because he said, I looked at her and said, oh, what did I just do? You know, he's, I think he did it the night before. And then I think he spent that night trying to you know, come up with some plan, like, which was a crap plan, but he obviously thought he was a criminal mastermind. And when he said, I looked at her and said, oh, what did I just do? Well, she was probably lying on the bed there, dead.
She might know better. I don't know what time it was. It was when I was here with.
Okay. I don't think I have any other questions. Do you, Louis?
I don't know where my head was yesterday. It was so far up my backside.
That's okay. We understand. In the meantime, while we're waiting for all this to get sorted out, I am going to hold on to your phone, okay? I'll give it back to you when we're done. Okay? Do you have any questions for us?
How long are you gonna need my phone?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting for my supervisor to call me.
My dad. It's just my dad's using that to get a hold of me and get updates.
They can call Jen's phone. Okay. Did the other detective give you his business card?
You're never getting your phone back, Stephan. Nunca, as we say in Spanish, nunca jamás. You're never going to have your phone back. He knows it there and then. He knows once they've taken that phone. I mean, really, if he had any sense whatsoever, he should have Googled that. Like, can the police still see what you've got on your phone even after you factory reset it? I mean, even I know that. I'm not a technical person, but I know that if you factory reset your phone, doesn't matter, the police can still access all your information. I know that. Most people know that. I think the only thing, you'd have to lose your phone, wouldn't you? Burn it. If you were, there's just no way. Once something's on your phone, that's it. Unless your phone actually gets destroyed, or I don't even know if it goes in water or fire, whether they can still access things. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing you can do once it's on there. It's on there, Stephan. So there you go. That's how you were caught out.
I believe so.
Okay, well, here's mine in case you want it for any reason.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you swear that everything you told us is true?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. I know it's a little hectic right now. And then I know you were about to head somewhere. If you can just hang tight and refrain from going back in your car, please.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I was actually going to move it over a spot.
No, just leave it here. It's fine. Thank you.
They don't even want him to, I presume this was done at the house, this interview, but they don't even want him to go out and get in his car to move. He said, I was going to move it to a different spot. No, if I presume they arrested him shortly after that. So there you go. That's how Stephan Sterns was caught. That's it. I mean, I'm just thinking about information. We've all got old phones, haven't we? And I've got an iPad that doesn't work now. But it's, I'm sure any photos I've got on that iPad are still in the iCloud or whatever. Are things indelible forever? When I say as far as a technical person, I mean, I wouldn't know how to get someone's photos up after they factory reset their phone. But, once you get the experts on it, is it just, can you not get rid of anything? How could you get rid of any photos or whatever you had on your phone? If you can't do it with factory reset, what can you do it with? So, things are different now, aren't they? So it's good because it means people can't get away with things. But I suppose, it creates this sort of, a lot of people, it's like, oh, privacy, have we got any privacy? But really, the only time the police are going to look for anything on your phone is if you've done something wrong, isn't it? They're not going to go around and look at everybody's phone unless attention is called to it for some reason. Same with CCTV. They don't sit in rooms looking at CCTV day in, day out, but it's nice that they can, pull that up, like when things happen, like in a case like this. and probably most of Stephan Sterns is the case against Stephan is digital, you know. But having said that, we don't know the result of the medical examiner's report. We know about these firearm searches, so we've got presumed there's a firearm involved somewhere. And yeah, so like somebody said, it could make a noise, but not if you put a pillow over, you know. So anyway, it'll all come out, I suppose, in the wash. So okay, that's it. So I'm going, and thanks for being here with me, and I will see you soon in the next video. Remember to live and love carefully and wisely. Take care, and I'll see you very soon. And until then, may your God go with you. Bye.